Evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Bit of a change again tonight, in many ways. I just got to quickly check to see if the UV cure is finished on this. Oh, Rigo, congratulations on getting a meme notification. Alright, well, that looks tolerable. Hey, John Lockhart. Let's see, I've just got to now pretty much flood this entire area with that UV cure. Then we can get on with the switch. It's actually a big enough area that I could almost afford to actually use a plunger on this one. Yeah. Oops, that went a little bit aggressive. That's clearly way too much. But that's okay. I'm going to smother it out and should be good. Hey, Yummy Steak, welcome. I don't normally suggest you do what I am doing here, but the area was so unfortunately badly corroded that I don't want it exposed to the air any more than it has to be now. Unfortunately, I haven't done a very clean job of this one. Alright, that's looking a bit better. I can just sort of just see through to the board underneath, and to me that makes it an acceptable sort of coverage. Yeah, it's quite a lot of goop, but it was required for that one. I'll just set it up so that it will cook, since I can't just throw it out in the sunlight at the moment. No sunlight here currently. Come on, in you go. Alrighty. Okay. So, we have a switch, and as far as I know this was dropped and the handle came clean off. Hey Jim, welcome. And I somehow need to reattach this. Now I noticed that, okay, so the flexes have come out and they're nested quite deeply into the handles there, so I'm going to have to detach this. Just trying to work out how to detach this. See, what's the trick? Okay, button left. There we go. The Wookiee has been slain. I went out, spent some money, got myself a replacement beard trimmer, and then Alita decided that, well, no, she didn't decide. We decided that it was probably best to have a haircut in combination. Barry, let's see. Can't remember the job number, but did you get the board finish that you were thinking of knocking off all the 3215s? No, I have not. Hey, Steve K. Hey, ALS. And Greg's here. I see. And Keith, too. Hello, Keith. Yeah, so I finally decided to clean my act up. Alright, so this uses Tri-Wings. I do miss having Jim's 4K optical zoom camera. Once you're used to that, it's a little hard to go back to the rather standard feeling webcams. That was a while ago, DJ Craze. Okay. I should point out I've never opened up one of these before. I've opened up the main console, but I've not actually opened up one of the handles. Okay, so I can see we've got broken plastic in random places, so that's going to be problematic. Okay, so what feels, I'm going to guess that's a oscillation vibration unit. And it would look like that I'm going to have to take the battery out on this. And I get a feeling it's probably just clip out somewhere. Because one of the flexes I can get down here, but this one I cannot. Yeah, Jim, I'll get that capture card. I've almost got the money for it. Probably another 100 or two, and I'll be right to go. Battery has 2 strips of adhesive under it, but not too strong. Okay, thanks. Good to know. It looks like we have lost a screw over here as well, and it seems that's going crazy. It looks like I should probably start stocking up on replacement screws for these things. I do have several other parts. Okay, I can see there's actually quite a... Oops, now I'll just clip that in to make it harder for myself. Fantastic. But it does reveal to me how I can get this apart. There must be a screw, I'm guessing, on the underside. Can I put alcohol down, like 2 or 3 drops of alcohol to loosen up that adhesive? Funnily enough, I'd probably, not super glue, but I'd probably use, let's see, what am I thinking? JB Weld. Love that stuff. Although, to be fair, JB Weld is probably a little bit, the viscosity of it makes it difficult to do fine repairs. It really is more suited for rocker covers and engine bays and things like that. 4 Phillips screws under the battery. Alrighty. Let's see, DJ Craze. I went to the flea market this morning. A vendor was trying to sell a MacBook Air mid-2010 for $325. You kidding? Just seen the same model, several vendors. $20 screen. Yeah. For 2010, I would be getting to the point where I'd expect them to pay me, in all honesty. Yeah, that really is pushing their luck a bit. I mean, I don't ever pay anything more than 200 Australian, which is about $160 1460 US for a good 1466. So, yeah. No, that's just not going to work, Paul. How much heat can I apply on this? Can I get a... Nah. So the trouble is, I don't really have a proper shim that's narrow enough for that. Yeah, Rodrigo, some people do have a very... Okay, it looks like the Spudge is going to do fine. Diluted sense of value of their devices. Particularly, I love it when they say almost perfect and only one crack in the screen. It's like, well, the screen essentially is the entire cost of the machine. Okay, there really wasn't much in the way of adhesive in there. There was 1, 2. That was it. Now this is where the zooming camera would have been nice, because we could just fill up the frame view with this view. I had to do an iPhone 11 dock replacement today. That was not overly pleasant. I will try to avoid doing such tasks in the future. Alright, that looks pretty interesting. I'm just going to put this screw back in because I don't believe it's required to be out. So we have a flex that's got to go in there and a flex that's got to go in there. And for the sake of safety, I am going to remove the battery while I do this. Hey Blodum. Stuart, what are they trying to say that, what did they do, upgrade to Catalina or something? Okay, arrows go away from the thumb. Okay, so that's that. So this is... I'm guessing this is how it's supposed to go. I'm going to switch into microscope mode. This is sort of the time where a 0.5 Barlow could be useful, but not useful enough for me to actually go and do it. Manual zoom. It's already actually at the closest I can make it without it interfering. Take care not to lose the spring in the bump button. Unfortunately, I think that actually has already literally flown. There's just a stump left where I think it was. Are you talking about the button that's used to disconnect the assembly? Nah, I got that wrong. You do not inspire me with confidence. And yet... Okay, that... Yeah... Are you in far enough? Yep. Alright, I just wasn't 100% confident then. Okay, and I can tell that this is the correct flex for this connector, because see, it's got a dual row set of contacts, and you can see there's pins on both the top and bottom, or front and back rather, of that FPC receptacle. So that's good when you have confirmations like that of what you're trying to do, especially when you've never done a particular unit before. Ugh. You need something a little finer to evenly drive those wings in. The trouble is, I'm not too sure, overly confident on the gauge depth here. See now, in my opinion, these wings should drive all the way to the to butt up against the plastic. But looking at the contact strip there, I don't think I have to, or do I? Damn it. I'm out of focus. And I got a piece of iPhone battery adhesive stuck on that. Yeah, I think that's as far as it's going to go. So it doesn't instill me with a huge amount of confidence when they protrude like that. But I think it's just the limitations of the device. Yeah, the socket. Now this here came in underneath. Ugh. Make sure I don't spontaneously short those two contacts out. I think so much to the point where I'll use the plastic spudger. It'd be fun if I put the tweezers on either side. That would have been a little bit spectacular. Alright, now my next question is, how is this retained? Okay, it looks like it sits there and there. Well, that doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. As you can see, we've got a problem there. I think I might switch it back to the overhead. That attaches to the other shell, okay. Okay, so we've got a break there. That's no good. None of this really seems to line up with my expectations. Ah, right, I see. Right, and we... Looks like I got a little bump here. But, as pre-warned, we do not have a spring. Yeah, g'day Micromage, and Nick. Yeah. Thanks, Stray77. You can pass the compliments on to my wife. Hey, Andre. Hey, Andre, is that Jen? Have you got Jen as your avatar? Hello, Jen. What does IT stand for, Jen? Hey, MadTech, or MadsTech, welcome. Thank you. Alright, so what am I going to do about the spring situation? Yeah, so clearly we need to have a spring, I guess. Do we? I guess if we don't have a spring, it's not going to retract back. Or it's not going to have that feel. Does the spring reside... I'm trying to think. Does the spring reside actually on the underside? Oh wait, it is there. Sorry. Look, I'm a bit daft tonight. My apologies. It is there. It's already integrated into the whole assembly. There. Yep. I've got it. It's not lost. All is not lost. A yummy steak. Alright. Let's see. So, glue. Yes, I can use super glue. Now, normally I would put some bicarb in it to give it that bite, but I have a suspicion that the gap is close enough that I can get away with it. The other option, of course, is the wholesome, highly recommended hot glue. Now, with the hot glue, I can just put a wee wafer on there and then just give it a little bit of heat. Only needs about 100, and it'll melt into place. Madtex, you recommend hot glue too? Well, that's sounding like a good idea to me now. At least they actually did find that broken bit end. Not really necessary to glue it in. I think the problem I'm going to face... Right, so if I unscrew this section here, and then I can put it in there, apply a bit of hot glue, and it probably won't make any difference at all. But I'm still going to do that. It will break, yes, it probably will. I don't doubt that one bit. There's Soren's method, that's what it is. If you do hot glue, that's Soren's method, apparently. Now, the only trouble is I have to find a way to appropriately retain this. Sorry, I realise you're not getting a good view here. A drop of acetone. The only trouble with acetone is that I find it very hard to control its behaviour. Honestly, it's worse than a teenager. What doesn't help here is that it's actually been ripped out in a way that it deformed. Yeah, see that there I think is how it lines up. But I got torn out there. So we're going to actually have to carve back a bit there, which will probably give us the room to put the hot glue in anyway. Sunny, welcome. Yes, I did. I figured it would make it easier for me to rip people off with my software, based on your recommendations. Sunny believes you should all pay at least 3 times the price that you're currently paying for Flexboard View, so that I get twice the amount and he gets his cut as well. After all, he's only thinking about the quality of service that you all deserve. Okay, we need to add a little bit of a relief here, else that plastic is not going to come back down. Okay, that's good. Sonny, I would only believe it's 3 times as good if Lewis yells 3 times as much. If Lewis doesn't yell 3 times as much, then I will think that you've scammed me. Okay. I've just got to blow my nose. Hey, Rose Electronics, welcome. B&E's blah blah blah. B&E's cell phones is always here. We seem to be getting a lot of people here tonight. That's interesting. I wonder what's caused this to happen. Use zip tie as solder tip, and use your smallest hot air tip. What? Hey Sinclair, good to see you. Nice to have some apparently British influence. Yeah, this is going to be fun, like I said, because it's been unfortunately deformed. I may be better off actually just, what was I going to say, completely shaving the bottom off this thing, like that protrusion, and then I can just bond it fairly freely there. JB World truly would be my preferred choice in this instance. Maybe I can make up a couple of dots of JB World. We also have a problem here where this has got a fatigue crack in it now. And there too. But if I'm going to JB World, I really will have to chop that bottom off a bit. Is this ABS plastic? I don't know. Ask who's the guy that says put something in a vice? I'm not sure. Yes, ABS. Sonny, you know I'm not the only person on the market with this software. There's also that frustratingly competitive open board view. I have to take that person out sometime. AV, that's it, yes. JP, you asking about it being ABS? What you recommend? Some acetone. Like I said, I've used acetone on things like Perspex and all that. I think it was acetone. I can't heat treat this, can I? And I don't have any spare bits to really try. Well, I do have acetone. Hey, Robert Schumacher. Let me go get the acetone. I think I've got it. I may have thrown it all out after what it did to a bunch of iPhone 5s. Let's see. Oh no, we do have acetone. I'm impressed. Okay, I also need some IPA to refill some containers. This acetone is exceptionally old by now. Yeah, Paul, that's smart. Use a plastic implement to take acetone out. Yeah, this is dangerous as feck. Trying to find a suitable receptacle to actually transfer it with. Yeah, gonna need something. Oh no, I might just dip this in. And I don't know how well that's going to bond. Kind of want to get a little bit more around it. Tweezers are too small. Need like a microliter pipette or something. Why I don't have a microliter pipette on hand? Eva Perron was submerged in acetone after she died. Apparently, acetone or formaldehyde? Usually most people get done in formaldehyde. No, that's not going to work. Yes, Sonny, that is quite your style, isn't it? Unfortunately, because I don't live in a state where the population is in the millions. I live in a town where the population is barely 5,000. So as a consequence, the guy it comes back to is almost always me. It is funny for me to think that New York State has pretty much as many people as the entire Australia. Hey, Pierre. Alright, well, I managed to drop in a decent portion. It's probably a little bit too weak in my opinion. I think would like to follow this up with hot glue or something. Because that's really not playing along. I'm gonna go see if I can get some bicarb. If I can get some bicarb, I can firm it up with some not hot glue. Actually, let me just check how does that fit? Nah, it's a clean, damn it. I was going to say, what I could do is I could fill it around it, but the trouble is that the retaining housing slides pretty much perfectly over this section, so I can't actually put fillets around it. Plastic weld of soldering iron. Can you do that, VBS? The trouble is I don't have any spare plastic to actually utilize on it. Might just have to leave it there for now. Let me see. Or maybe some hot glue. Not hot glue. Super glue. Okay, where's my brush? Don't panic. Else I'm gonna have to panic. It's alright, I'll clean this up. I just hope this doesn't catch on fire. And if you think I'm being silly about the fear of cyanosiliciate catching on fire, then you'll be amused to hear the story about how a popular model aircraft glue is now called Hot Stuff. It's called Hot Stuff because when it originally came out, we only had the very low viscosity version of cyanosilacrate, and it was exceptionally good at wicking. And so what would happen is people with balsa wood, because it's extremely porous, and this cyanosilacrate would just wick, this stuff would just wick like crazy through the wood and generate so much heat it would start smoking. And if you're really unlucky, you got some on your cotton clothing, and that was truly torturous. Yep, that's right, Stray. Yep. Anyway, so what we're going to do... Geez, I nearly knocked that off. It won't be the most durable join, but that fillet there should do the trick nicely. We just now really need it to cure. You can usually cure cyano with just a bit of moisture. That does the trick. There's not much moisture in the air at the moment though. I might go open up the ultrasonic cleaner tank and just hover it in amongst the steam. Andrew, I don't think my breath has that much moisture in it right now. You can see it started to do that. See how it's got that white crust developing around it? Incidentally, this is why it's really a bad idea to have super glue or crazy glue, whatever you want to call it, around any sort of optical elements. If you have things that you don't need going opaque, then please don't put crazy super glue, cyano anywhere near it, because the vapors that come off while it's curing, if they do land on some optical elements, they will go opaque, and you will be very sorry about that. Teresa, yes, I certainly did. "4D modding, did you find out the hard way with that, did you?" Okay, I'm going to have to wait a little bit for that to cure a bit more, because otherwise when I put everything back together, that will just simply fuse in the in that plastic carrier, the black carrier thing, and you'll never get it apart again. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's got that translucent effect, so I'm happy with that. Hopefully it should protect it. I'll go put that back into its proper tray slot. Where are you? There you are. Yes, baking soda if I had it, or bicarb soda really, is, or bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. Unfortunately I don't have any right in this room at this moment. So did I put those screws back in? I have not. Yeah, all these tricks picked up back in the modelling days, and I did need to leave that screw out. Fairly sure the fumes from that super glue should be minimized by now. I wouldn't say I'm allergic, but I am sensitive to CA fumes now. Too many years of using it with model aircraft. But now whenever I am using it, I tend to get symptoms of influenza or bad cold, things like that. That magnetic driver is okay. Whew. Interesting, there's actually only 2 screws for the battery. The other 2 are through the circuit board, not the actual carrier. I'm talking about radio oh no, that just sounded really bad then. Yeah, radio controlled aircraft. Mostly I dealt with electrics. It's kind of funny because back, it was around about, I started trying to do electric aircraft around about 1996 or so, and everybody just laughed at me. And then by about the year 2000, there were developments that were making it possible, a lot more possible. And now it's pretty much the dominant way of doing things. But it is funny that you had to go through all of that drama of people mocking you and everything like that because you dared to have an aircraft that was powered by electricity instead of glow fuel. And now, of course, we're seeing very much the same when it comes to the car industry. Certainly RC helicopters, yes. When I get back into it, I'm trying to be hopeful here, I will have myself a proper helicopter. Something like a T-Rex 400 at least. And I will also have a discus launch glider. Those are pretty much my 2 main passion things. I don't really have an inclination for any other types of radio control modeling. The gliders, because they represent quite a challenge in terms of being able to capture the lift that you need to stay, airborne for longer. And the helicopters, because, well, the universe hates helicopters, and you spend the entire time trying to stop the universe from throwing your helicopter to the ground and smashing it into lots of little pieces. Well, yeah, NiCad batteries did suck, I do agree. But we were still able to do things with them. Like, we would take the systems from the Tamiya cars and we'd only just use a relay or something like that to set off the motor. Okay, I seem to have an obstruction here. There appears to be a spring down here, and I'm not sure if it's meant to be. Okay, it kind of does seem like it's meant to be. I'm guessing then it pushes out on something. For some reason I can't get this to sit in properly. Not sure what I'm missing here. Maybe the problem is the fact that the button appears to be deformed. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, JP, I do tend to agree. I never really had the passion. The only thing I like about the Nitro is the smell. And I believe... pushing it like that. The smell of glow fuel being burned is certainly a bit of a dirty lust thing. Particularly if it's got, just 5% nitromethane in it. Something to really make it very nice. Hey, Byron. But yeah, in terms of actually getting stuff done, I mean, lipo and brushless motors, even brushed motors, I was more than happy with. For a while there, I made a good bit of money making and selling brushed motor controllers. They're usually based on the Atmel AVR microcontrollers. I made a good series of them. Okay, so that seems to be working. The button appears to work. Let's see, so I'm guessing red is for right. LJ Rogers. Yeah, I've actually got to agree with you about the gunpowder smell. Alright, so we appear not to have a battery activity. Can I use an Apple USB-C charger for this? Hey, Jessica Adele. Hello. Yep, I can. It's charging. Alright. Well, it appears we have managed to fix it. Now we just gotta wait for it to charge. Joy. Bit of acetone, bit of super glue, bit of luck. Perfect combination. Yeah, while they do take USB-C, there are sometimes devices that will not deliver the voltage perhaps that you want. And I was just pondering that maybe the Apple chargers wouldn't give the voltage that they want. Because some of them want 9 volts, whereas the Apple ones are probably focused on giving 20 volts. So, anyway. We're going to reassemble this thing now and get this out the door, hopefully, back to the owner. Miles, yes, I need to actually get an entire assembly for myself. I'm just on the lookout to see if someone's got a second-hand one. I do agree with your sentiment. I figured at least with an Apple charger it should handle the various requests fairly well. There's not going to be too many overshoot type scenarios that can come up. And the dock, right, yeah. I have got a bunch of parts for the Nintendo Switch, but because there were some people who wanted to send me some units. I don't know what's happened to them though. They just seem to have dropped off the face of the earth, so at least I'm prepared for when another one comes in. What's this? No ice cream? What's this? I do miss eating ice cream. Every now and then I'll sneak some in, but okay, what's going on there? What the heck? I don't see any difference in these screws, and yet for some reason it's been rather difficult to go into the hole. Okay, that one's okay. The cats are all good. It's a bit of a cooler night tonight, so they are all camping out with us. I think there's 4 of them in the bedroom at the moment, obstructing Alita from getting any writing done. Yeah, Miles, well, I mean, there's plenty of times where technically doesn't translate so well. I'm not really sure why the screw is resisting going in there. I just wanted to check that I wasn't bottoming out and producing unwanted pressure. The last thing you want to do is over tighten one of these and then something pops. Okay. That's good. Aim more carefully. Somebody is reverting back to being teenager again. Okay, T4. I know this is a little bit boring, but I really do need to get these things finished up, ready to send back as soon as I can. Yeah, if I let them languish in the workshop too much, they can get lost. Let's see. One of your customers used a Belkin USB charger, ended up melting the port and catching fire. That's actually quite unusual. Not that I'm a pro Belkin person or anything, but overall I've found their products to be acceptable in general. And whoops, that's backwards. Yeah, I mean, even Apple uses them as their third-party supplier for a few things. So yeah, that's quite interesting to hear. I wonder if there was something in the port or on the contacts. But even still, that'd be quite a feat. What's the age thing going on about? The Australian crashed in Formula 1 Q3. Oh, jeez. I don't mean to be mean to my fellow Australians, and I mean, I do like Ricciardo, but... And who was the other Australian that was here before him? The guy was rather unflappable, quite the gentleman, and he had skill. You know, he could win races, just like Ricciardo can, but they're too nice, and that's the problem. I don't know. It just seems like if you're too nice, you're going to get eaten up by someone else in the Formula 1. Yeah, I mean, Max Verstappen basically shunted Ricciardo out of Red Bull for all intents and purposes. Because Max Verstappen was like, I want to be the number one, get the hell out of here. But yeah, I'd say that Ricciardo is just a bit too nice. Mark Webber, yeah, that was it. Yeah, he had the opportunities, by all means should have won, but too nice. I mean, was it Ricciardo the one that had the great big flip with the car, or was that not Ricciardo, Webber? Was it Webber that had the great big flip when he should have been winning? But yeah, the Australians, I think it's actually a bit of a problem when it comes to Australians. Yeah, what do I know? I don't know anything. We can think that we're allowed to be all fun and chummy with our competitors, but really, it's not a good idea in the F1 Formula world field, it seems. Yeah, you'll be good. There's no denying it. I mean, if you're driving an F1 car, you must be good. But you're not going to be good enough, and sooner or later, you're just going to get shuffled out and become a has-been, just like Webber. Oops. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I had to go to a party, I would go to Daniel Ricciardo's party and not Max Verstappen's party. But if I had to pick someone who I wanted to win races, then yeah, I'd probably go with Max Verstappen. Now, of course, the oddball in that whole mix would be Hamilton, because he doesn't have uh, that same sort of bloodthirsty hunger that Verstappen or even, say, Michael Schumacher had. So certainly Hamilton has his own special style that seems to work very well. I wouldn't call it arrogance, but there's certainly, yeah, I don't know, there's the inner belief or something like that. It works, obviously. I missed Sunny Day's message. Can you fix my 2013 Pro Mac RAM crash with CPU depending? Yeah, Sunny, I suggest, let's see, where are you? You're in New York. So go grab a Wagner and set it to full temperature, and I suggest keep it about this far away from the CPU for 6 minutes. Not a second more or less, has to be exactly 6 minutes. And it should do something after that. I'm not sure what it will do, but it should do something. Just remember, this is a mixed bag of screws, this one. Lots of flux. Oh, yeah, of course, lots of flux. Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot to mention lots of flux. Yeah, this is a pre-disassembled machine, so I have the extra complication of having to sort out the screws to put it all back together. Yes, Tim will be crying. Mind you, next week he's not going to be crying or so, because he's going to be at Jessa Jones's doing a course teaching people how to use Wagners. Sonny, are you going to the course? I think you said you were going to make a trip. You're going to go show Tim how to do it? I have a feeling that is not the correct screw. I don't know what the heck that screw's for. Walter White managed to convert an almost perfect 2018 Air into a non-working... Oh, no. What happened, Walter? Other than the fact that, it wasn't... Yeah. Yeah, what happened, Walter? There are a couple of tricks you can use to work out what screws you need. Like, for instance, the ones that hold these little sort of plastic hinge covers in. If you look at them closely, they have nice little domed tops. So that's one way to sort out at least 4 screws from your mixed bag of screws. So this is a flat top one, so it could either be for one of the cable retainers, or it could be for this here. And it looks like that's going to be a cable retainer one. So it gets a little bit easier if you eliminate the screws that you know the purpose of. A few minor bits of corrosion, made the big mistake of fixing everything in one go. Now I've no clue what isn't working. No CPU activity on the Chipmunk. Oh gee. Alright, yeah, that's no good at all. Okay, what the heck's happened here? Someone's knocked off... this really is a mixed bag of crazy. I know where it's meant to go, but I can't make it stick again, so that's just going to have to sit there. Okay, and that's our fourth domed one. So at least we've eliminated that. You remove the corrosion that was making... Yep, that unfortunately does happen a little too often. Okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know what I'm doing. That's a maybe. Yes, Walter, I went down, bought a beard trimmer, and then after the beard trimming was done, we decided that it looked pretty ridiculous with my long hair, so we subsequently went ahead and cut the hair. Okay, I'm a little bit concerned here at the moment because I feel like the screws that are used to retain the display plate, the plate that holds the... I feel like they may have been stripped out. Let's see. Sweet mercy, no, you really do look stripped. Oh, come on now. It's like someone put a boring bar down there. Or is it? See, that one there looks proper. I can see the threads. This one here, yeah, it looks like something got cross-threaded and it just kept on going. So let me try one that I think should have fitted and see if it works in that hole. And surprise, surprise, it does. So what's happened is with the other one, it looks like it did get cross-threaded or a very similar thread was put in it, and it essentially just bored it out. So unfortunately, nothing much I can do about that. Walter, glad to hear you're feeling better today. It's always a concern when we go down a bit. I think the worst bit is when you're wondering, like, when will it stop getting worse? I don't believe these are the right screw, or maybe they are. Ach, niemand. You got to be a little bit more careful when it comes to putting things back together when you've got a mixed bag of screws rather than your normal pre-sorted set of screws, because you don't want to end up doing what happened here. And given how lightweight a lot of these are, it doesn't take much. Alright, now these ones here, they are very narrow diameter, so they're going to be the interesting hex offsets from the keyboard. Okay. And these ones, they are large diameter on the, and they will be just the general PCB ones. Now there's usually, I can't be 100% sure for this model, but there is often one of them that has a longer shaft than the rest, and that typically sits over here, but I don't think it is on this model. So, I can't see anyone that is that bit longer, but certainly on the 1707s and stuff like that, there is one screw that sits over here which has another 2mm or so on its length. It can be easy to forget about it until you get it to that point and then realize the screw is not sitting in with enough depth. You only get like half a thread on it or something like that. Alright, we're now getting to the point where I'm just throwing screwdrivers around. We have the cover plate for this, and I do worry that this top section here, that looks like it's also being threaded out, stripped out. Hey, Smeller. Nope, I lack the confidence. That's because that belongs up there. That's the other thing. If your gut says, I don't think that's the right hole, then maybe you should trust it. I think I might put the retainer plates on. Well, Miles, I suppose all the terrible noises coming out of the threading would tell you otherwise too. Some people just don't have that feel though, I think. Yeah, they just don't have that sensation of, if I go any further I'm going to do some serious damage here. I mean, proof of that is the number of iPhone long screw damage jobs that come in. Yeah, well look, I'm just going to stick with the proper behavior. Yeah, this actually I feel is one of these. Likewise, this is. Oh, it didn't fly overhead. And it appears I'm actually short a few here. So I don't actually have all of the ones I need for retaining this. And to further disappoint myself, I don't even have any spares anywhere. So that is a bit of a problem. I suspect they were left out originally. You know, it was just a case of, I guess I should be thankful that I did get as many in here as I have. Oops, just forgot to put the Wi-Fi on. By the way, if you're wondering if we're going to do any repairs tonight, I think we can fit one in. I've got a couple of boards that are, you know, meant as spares that need working on. I think I've got a couple of 4924s I need to do something with. Am I using the right parts container? Yep, I am. But that was a good suggestion nonetheless. Did you end up fixing the VRM board? Can't remember now. What's this I see? 'Tis but a stray screw. Not sure if this is going to boot. That button does not feel good. You watch, I've probably got more issues on this board. Interesting, it didn't start with the power button. Now I don't know if that means that the power button is non-functional or whether there is actually an issue with the power up state sequence. Okay, it is booting. It is running fine off battery. It's at 100%. I'm going to see if I can actually shut it down by holding the button. Basically doing the drowning. Yeah, okay. It works when I drown it, so... And it comes up that time. Maybe it's just after I've disassembled it wants to be bootstrapped. Nope, can't complain about that. That's good. Considering the level of damage that was on that one, I'm quite happy that it even boots. I will have to leave a note to them regarding the 2 screws that are not there. Okay. Alright. Let's see if that Nintendo has come up to life now, or whether it's been lying to me the whole time. And it looks like we're good. Battery is low. Jeez. Okay, I have a feeling this doesn't charge properly through this. It probably is just like a fallback 5-volt charge or something. It's not even coming up here. 9%. Okay. How do you use these things? Let's see. A. Press the same button 3 times. What? I guess I just accidentally configured something. Well, that appears to work. Yep. Okay. That's fixed. Let's see. Nick, you can change the keyboards on those. They're like a biscuit sandwich format. But honestly, it's probably easier just to change the deck. Mind you, that is a touch bar version, so yeah, it's going to be pretty expensive. Jason, I was actually probably about to tackle one of your machines. Yeah, not really sure. Oh, that's right. You've got that horrible T2 that you sent me. Thank you so much, Jason. A big fat round of applause to Jason the T2 from Hellgiver. Let's see, what was this? 642. 642. Where the hell is 642? Do I even have a container for 642? Yes, we do. Whoever said that I love T2s, well, clearly they're making something that's a load of BS. Now this is the one that I'm a little bit worried may in fact be a dead CPU. Because everything seems to go okay, but then nothing comes up. It's like, yay. Also, these 1700 boards are the worst because of the fact that they've got so many of these stupid little flexes. It's very frustrating to work on them. Yeah, good luck with the $20 MacBook. Certainly I wouldn't pay much more than that. Oh, that's right. Because of this matte film covering, I can't determine whether it's a bad backlight or not, but I don't think we've got any activity coming out of this anyway. Because all we get is trackpad click, and yeah, that's it. We don't even get cap locks. Probably going to have more success with the boards that you sent, Jason. Interesting to note that it doesn't actually give me a protocol here for the USB-C. Yeah, what's concerning here is the CPUs are dead cold. GPUs also dead cold. Yeah, Miles, I was thinking this one's most likely the dead CPU one. The current consumption that I'm looking at the moment, it's just the battery charging. I'll bring up the board, just double check my rails measuring. So 1700 BVR file. Unfortunately, I haven't developed a sequence list of what to check. Okay. Let's go into quad view. There's an ant running around. And the fans are going absolutely flat out here at the moment, which is never a good sign. We're doing 4 amps. Okay, so phase. So we've got nothing going into the CPU. Core. Nothing into core. It's actually even worse off than it was before, I think. Nothing. Okay, we've got 0.8 volts down here. So we've got the GPU getting power, but not the CPU. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so GPU's getting activity, CPU's getting nothing. I mean, I could well be wrong here, but as far as I can tell, that's overall not very good. And then basically nothing's getting hot. We're just charging the battery at this point, I think. Let's bring out the thermal camera and just have a double check. Yes, Jason, I actually did have a haircut. Okay, let's get our thermal camera. For checking for cracks, really? Didn't think this model suffered the visual crack fault. Okay. I am not hot airing that ant. Okay, camera has been reluctant to come up. Probably because I haven't configured it correctly. I do believe we went through this issue before. Oh. Okay, Walter, you take care. Don't get sick again in a hurry. About a week behind. Oh, that's not too bad. At this point, I'm around about a month and a half. Okay. Okay, we've got to get an IR view. That's more like it. Okay, we've got a really hot beast up here, but that's battery charge. And I don't know why that's hot. Not sure what that is. And we can see the GPU inductors are warm as well. But yeah, this up here, that's pretty much just battery charge. That's warm there because that actually that's the controller for the fan. You probably should see the same over, yep, there. I'll bring my finger into it. So there's nothing really unusual going on here. Hmm. So yeah, sorry Jason, I'm pretty almost certain this one's, I mean it's not a guarantee, but I'm fairly sure this one's CPU failure. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to do a resistance check. Get the battery completely out of the picture. Barry, what you saying? 2.67. So that, I mean, that's pretty decent. Yeah. In terms of resistance, doesn't seem to be a problem there. More concerned about the other touch bar. Alright, let's go have a look at that one then. Your biggest problem, really, with that other touch bar is I have to find it. Don't get upset. I lose things a lot. Okay, everything's in this room. Nothing has left the room, so... No. Something else's. I've just got to find out which one it is. Ah, here we go. Now, Barry, given how long that was running with the 4 amps, if there was something on the other side, it would have started glowing through. Alright, so this is the other touch bar that Jason's referring to. And I'm trying to remember what we were dealing with. Looks like one of those hex nuts just went rolling off. Yeah, this is the one that the T2... Did you guys reflow the T2? I'm not asking that critically, I'm just asking because I can see there's flux around it and I want to be sure that I know that you actually did do that. I'm pretty sure you did. Like I said, I just don't want to go on false assumptions. Okay, so we've got 5 volts, 280. Yeah, that's right. And I think the problem here was that I didn't have any reasonably convincing reason to suspect the CD32s. There, see, that looks reworked to me. And all the other flux around here. So I'm not sure why that area was targeted, given that we've got the 5 volts. I know sometimes the T2, I believe, can inhibit the transition. And we also did get some heating going on over here. I'm not exactly sure what was being hunted for. Oh, that's right. And yeah, so we've got all these marks here. So I'm guessing that the CD3215s were replaced, these marks here. And I'm guessing they're just sort of crossing over to where the ball is my guess. And likewise here, this has also been done. You can see those lines. We've got one of these PI3 USB 32 units. Mind you, it doesn't look like it got affected by anything. But certainly if you swap the CD32s and you don't get 5 volts, it doesn't hurt to try swap these PI32 chips either. They can sometimes be the culprit. But typically you do see protocol communication going on. Had trouble lining, wouldn't sit down. Okay, yeah, maybe I can try and swap them. These ones look untouched. Now the problem I've got at the moment is that I am essentially out of 3215s because I was shipped a bunch of duds. We have a part knocked off here. That there looks like... I actually can't decide. Because this pad looks perfectly clean, factory reflow, but this looks like it's had a pad knocked off. Yeah. So what board's this one? Let's see, what is it? 627. Hey, Pionov. I suppose the question that's in my mind is, was the T2 worked on because they couldn't get the 5 volts? And they just thought, oh well, you know, we'll jump to that, or the technician decided to jump to that. But yeah, I mean, usually, like I said, replacing that PI3 USB chip would be my next step. Only because I've had a good number of them fail. Okay, so we do have a bit of corrosion over here. Interesting. Alright, didn't see that before. It shouldn't affect anything under here. Fairly sure that's all, what do you call it, underfilled. I mean, and all that said, I'm by no means even remotely competent when it comes to these boards. Yeah, Micromage, quite a few of them do have it. I need to get more stock. 1041. That's what it was. 820 1041. I feel like I'm getting what do you call it? Power line frequency coming through on this. If all ports are 5 volt, 200 milliamps, typically T2 not beating properly. This is sitting more like on 300 milliamp Perinoff. Would you consider that to be a sufficient difference, or would you still consider it to be within the realm of a T2 fault? Yeah, this is definitely 280. It's higher than just 200. I mean, no, that's a good 50% more. Let's try the other two ports. Yep, 280. So I mean to put this board information into the system. Okay, original issue was a slight spill and then plugged into a PC charger, not an Apple one. Charger was not well. Okay. And has the ISL been changed on this one? Eight two zero 1041. You don't think so? Okay, no problem. Okay, let's go look for the ISL. Not quite sure. Well, there it is. Oh, you mongrel. Okay, actually no, it looks like it might have been reworked. It does have flux around it. It is sitting ever so fractionally skew. Or at least I feel like it's sitting skew. Let's see if we can... What's everyone's opinion? Do you feel like that's sitting just fractionally offset? Not that it probably really matters, but yeah. It almost feels like they might have backed off before it had finished settling. So Warren says no, Lofton says yes, Brian says yes. Yeah, okay. So I'll hit it with a bit of flux and hot air. See if we can get it to jump back, but I have a feeling we may have to look at reballing it. I do have another 9240. I've only got one spare. Is that 180 out of placement? That's a good question. Let's see. Let's go to schematics. Pin 1 top left. No, it's correct. That is correct. Yeah, pin 1 is up here, so that's all good there. Oh, whoops, sorry, I can't see. Yeah, that's all good. Pin 1 is up there, so unfortunately it wasn't such a nice easy fix. Yes, the rotation is slightly clockwise. Okay, so we're in pretty good agreement there that something's... But, like I said, it's not a guarantee it is on incorrectly. It just means it might be just... Yeah, sometimes they just sit that way. Maybe the pads weren't cleaned properly or something, I don't know. What is going on? This is not heating up like it should. Okay, well it's definitely reflowed, but it's also definitely sitting off a little funny there. Like I said, it's very small amount. It is very frustrating when you're having to deal with things like the ISL 39 and 40. Because they are in fairly short supply, you can't just keep throwing new ones at it, sort of thinking, well, maybe that was a dart or something like that. What I am going to do is I'm going to redo the 3215s just in case. This could be a complete waste of time, but I'll give it a whirl. You never know. The other thing we could do is we could take them all off and see if it boots off the battery. You reballed it, it is your fault? Oh. Sounds like you're probably having a day like me then. Actually, what I might do is see if I get the voltages around the... Hey Travis. Cat 5, that's good. Not used to this arrangement that they've got. I'm just guessing it here. 3.3, 3.3, that's good. Nothing on that one. 0.8. Okay, what's this one here supposed to be? CCA2. I'm going to open up another FlexBoard View instance. Bring up a board that I'm fairly sure I have notes and solutions for. Yep. Okay. Now, what was that? XACC2. Okay, so we want XBCC something. Unless they've all got different damn names. Okay. Alright, no, that's alright, that's not a problem though. Actually, maybe what I should do here is copy the open board data across to make one for this board. It'll make it easy for the diagnostics. So the 850 was it UV34 3132. Jason, don't feel bad because I have actually been pretty much in the same boat, in all honesty. I don't know how to describe it. It's just the last couple of weeks have been terrible. Really, truly terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Even Alita has paused and made comment to the fact that things are just absolute crap right now. Okay. So we want 1041. So let's see, Apple. So CP 80850. Wait, where are you getting your... Okay, 80850. Oh, I think it's on, it's pulling it down from my server. And you can't see. Okay. Actually, I don't even have to do that. Or is it pulling it from there? Oh, nuts and proud. What the hell is wrong with you? Wrong. Okay. Haha, awesome. Okay, fortunately there's enough commonality here that I can get away with this. Awesome. Okay, so what do we want to do? We're going to be measuring this one over here. which is U3100. So check over to here. Alrighty. This does make it easier when you're a deadhead brain person like myself. Let's get back to the quad display. Okay, first protocol. Set camp. Let's see, bottom one, so that. We've got 3.3 and it is expecting 3.3. And we want 1.8 on, let's see, 2 up. Missing cap 1, 2 there. 1.78. Fractionally low, but not sufficiently to be problematic that I think we may have to revisit that at a later point, but we'll see. This one here, 1.8, that is correct. And of course the glorious 1.1, which we don't have. We don't have 1.1 on this. So, okay, fair enough. Something to note. Seems to be a popular pastime to not have 1.1. .3 is good. .8 is good. .8 is good again. And again, no 1.1. Okay, so we have a problem with 1.1 being missing. And I think that seems to be a bit of a recurring issue that we see on a number of boards. And it can be related to bad the firmware in that memory chip there. But I don't know how. I've got to dig into it a bit more. Okay, I'm not sure which one I've got here. Okay. Not UB300. I must be on UB400. And of course everything's upside down. Yep, that's right. It'd be funny if you just had a bad CD3215 or like a bad stock or something, 5. .3 1.8 1.8 Well, this one has 1.1. Alright, so that's interesting. This side is getting 1.1. And that's important. Because the other side is not getting 1.1, so we have found a difference there already. Okay, 5's good. Three. Damn it, Paul, you're going to cause a short the way you're flipping your poker around. And again, 1.1. So we're getting 1.1 on this side of the board, but we're not getting 1.1 on the other side of the board. Now the other side of the board is where we have had some work done. So the question is, what is the problem? Why are we only getting 1.1? Why aren't we getting 1.1 here? Do we have just a bad ROM chip, or is it something else? Now, as far as I understand, you can use this ROM chip from any other board that also has a CD3215. That's my understanding. I'm not guaranteeing it, but that is my understanding. So I think we'll try that. I'll just put this in a safe place and then pick one up from another CD3215 board. Yummy Steak, feel free to chatter now and go insane. Margarita, welcome. This is live. Miles, yes, you are right. There's one ROM per 2 chip, but that's on either side. So the pair on the left have one ROM chip, and pair on the right have another ROM chip. Even with the fuse blown, yeah, but with the fuse blown, you shouldn't get the you won't get that first 5-volt rail that I test, because that is. I mean, look here. We'll shut Margarita up, because it's fun. We'll do a continuity test. Okay, continuity on that fuse. And you see that immediately, you'd have to have both of them to be dead. And continuity on that fuse. I do still find it interesting that if either side goes down, it takes out the entire capability of accepting 20 volts across the entire board. I would have thought that the designers would have made it that, okay, fine, one half of the ports go down, like, you know, the left side or the right side, but the other side can carry on. But yeah, the fact that they tie them all together makes for very interesting discussions. Miles, that is what I was meaning, yeah. The ROM is either on the left or the right, and that is what we're doing. And that is why, in this case, both on the left were dead. Jeez. Okay, these are CD3215s? Yeah, this is a horrible underfilled one, eh? No fun there, eh? Come on, where's your little ROM chip, buddy? Come on, where's your ROM chip? Please do not tell me I have dispatched with it. Okay, I think that might be it. It's a bit gutsy of me to be assuming that though. I can see the other one was taken, so that's where the other one was. Oh, and what concerns me because that there is more. Let's see, the data pin. Yeah, okay, this is actually where the ROM chip was. That's what I was thinking. This one didn't look right. So this board does not have a ROM chip available. Wow, doesn't that just sucky doodle? Now, this is going to be tricky. I do have some 840 boards, and some of them would have the 3215, and some will have the C00, and some will have the B03. Now, okay, so this is B03, so I'm disinclined to use that one. Alright, the fact that these have been stripped gives me a faint hope that that might have been a viable one. Now the BIOS, oh, for flip's sake. I'd love to know where these BIOSes are going, because quite frankly I'm not the one flogging them. Okay, this one here I'm pretty sure was to be a C00. And that's liquid damage. You gotta be... You gotta be kidding me. Alright, this one here may... But you're a B03. Son of a... Now, personally, I've never tried putting a B03 ROM onto... This one doesn't even have any anyway. Okay, I've got a real problem, haven't I? These are B03s. Yep. Anyone tried a what do you call it? A B03? I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I don't have any other suitable donors. Now the chip itself I can get everywhere and anywhere. It's a very common chip. But... Yeah, it's a very common chip. It exists even on 3115 boards and stuff like that. I guess we can just try a B03 and see what happens. It's not like it's going to do much aside from not work. Liquid damage. Okay, there we go. The other thing you could try is actually copy the ROM chip from the other side. Yeah, you see, that's the other thing I could do. I could take the ROM chip from the other side of the board that we're trying to fix and put it in place of where we just took that other one away. And then we could try and read the data off it. And with the data read off it, we can write it to a new one. Right? Okay, we've already forgotten what our orientation is. Okay, pin 1. Here. Jim, welcome back. Dutch. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do these things, and in some cases, this is how people discover new things. It's also sometimes how things go horribly wrong. But let's hope we have Discovery side on our tonight. No, as far as I know, Jim, they're both the same. Okay, yeah, sorry, I had a flashing moment there of my orientation being wrong, but it's not. Yeah. Now, it's not the only cause of 1.1 not appearing, but as far as I understand it is certainly a cause. The thing that's playing against my mind in this instance, though, is that there really wasn't any damage in that area, except for the fact that the CD3215s themselves were damaged. Yeah, usually is the second. I don't imagine there'd be much damage that could occur, particularly not between the B03 versus C00, since as far as I understand, the physical CD chips are the same, they just have a bit of a different revision of information in them. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. That would be normal for me. Interesting, we actually now get a protocol. I actually now get a 2.4 amp protocol indication, whereas before I did not. We're still stuck at 290, but we actually have a protocol indication, whereas before it was just simply unknown. Interestingly, on this side it's unknown. Not sure what to think. And I didn't realize, but it's actually 2 o'clock in the morning here. Sweet Bridget. Okay, so, well, let's see if we are getting 1.1 volts on those pins at least. Yes, nuts and prouds. This adapter, most of these multi-line ones will now tell you the USB-C PD protocol that's being used. Which is rather handy. Okay, I think it's this one. U3100. check that 1.1 volt line. Make sure I switch over to something other than continuity mode. And we now have 1.1 volts. So we've got our 1.1 volts back, which is very nice, but we're still not switching into 20 volts. So maybe now it might be a T2 situation, but it looks like that ROM chip was blown. I wonder if the other one is also in fact blown, but given that we're not getting a protocol reading on it. On the upside, it's interesting to note that the the ROM chips from the B03 do seem to work. Is that a freaking ball in the middle there? It's not actually contacting anything, but even still. So at this point, given that protocol, I would be inclined to replace this. But the problem is, I don't believe I have any spares. Now, that is a real pain, because, like I said, this often does fail. Have I got anything that I can actually steal it from? I don't like stealing parts from working machines, so... Search, find a part. I'm pretty sure I went through this earlier today. Take it off switch for testing purposes. I've never actually tried removing the mux. What happens if you do that? Was that reflow that one and see if there's a minor change? Usually they don't. It's not a contact fault, it's internal electrical fault. Yeah, 1840, 850. Come on, surely I've got them on my 850. I've got a 840. I don't even know what you are. I've got a cough. Sorry. Apologies about that. Yeah, can't say I've got any of those boards. 850 is the closest one I've got, and I don't think I even have that. I think everything that I think is an 850 is actually an 840. Yeah. Oh wait, there's... No, you're an 842. What's this? I should steal it from the Nintendo. Now, what's going to be frustrating is if, now that we've got our voltage back, if the fault really does now live the T2, and maybe the T2 got upset when it got reflowed, but yeah, hopefully not. Why would I buy the center of this board and I don't even know what board it is? It's kind of silly of me. Just wasting money on AliExpress. Crud. I'm just going to go look through my scrap parts box and see if I can maybe find one. Because I know I have replaced a few of them which ended up not being required. I'm just not sure where I'll put that box. I only just had it this afternoon, for goodness sake. Must be on the main floor somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, look, Micromatch, I agree, but of course this is the weekend and, well, I can't get any of them. Well, completely pointless parts that I really don't need anymore. 34, 37 SMCs, I mean, really? Really? I've got so many of those damn things now. There's memory chips, SMC 165, SMC 840. Okay, now that actually is useful. What do you? You look at iPhone crap. Yep. You can tell pretty quickly if it's one of these PI3 chips, because they do have very distinct long pad set. So what do you guys? Your BO3s. Why do I have this trash in here? I got screws mixed in with everything. Ooh, wait, what are you, are you, could you be? I think I might have one here, but I have a feeling it's probably a dud. You cheating little lying chip. I had a moment then. Okay, let's go back through the MacBook box. I might also look through the iPhone box. There's an off chance that I might have incorrectly placed some parts in the iPhone section. Which reminds me, I need to test someone's iPhone 11, see if it's still... Yep, it's still holding. What happened to the zip bag? They had no... was that only just the one I had in it though? I'm pretty sure it was only just the one I had in it. Yes, 9239s, 9239 reclaims, which are basically the same thing. The same thing because they're all reclaims of, even if they say new, and so you're not new. 3215 BO3 from Lewis Rossman. That was a sad little joke. What are you guys? Backlight caps. They're particular backlight. They're 100 volt rated ones. I think there's only one or two boards that actually use those. Yeah, getting supply isn't really the big problem. The problem is I don't have them right now. That's the issue. Yeah, that's the pretty much the bottom of the barrel. Literally. Nothing. There's one in the switch. Yeah. Yeah, I bet the stencil shows up when I go looking. Because that's just the way it goes. Alright, well, I think it's getting late, and it's probably best I call it for the night. Yeah, we got the switch fixed. I know it's not a major thing, but it was good to at least get that. And we did make progress with this board. So we have now restored the 1.1 volt functionality, which means there was a problem with the ROM. But I do worry that this may have now already been damaged because of the what do you call it? The reflow to the T2. I mean, it's not to say it is, but I'm just saying that, yeah, there is always that concern when you... I'm just going to check the 1.1 on this side. It'd be funny if we lost it now on this side. That's totally not funny, although I might be on the wrong chip, to be honest. Okay, so we do have 1.1 back on this side still. And it should now be on this here. Yeah, okay, so everything, we're all back to fundamentals working there. And we'll just have to work from that. And I'll dig around, see if I can find, you know, maybe I do have a stash of the PI 3 USB chips, but I have a feeling not. So, oh, Jason's here. Yeah, well, Jason, did you see that we at least got 1.1 volts back onto the input section that wasn't working? This is where you did the CD3215 replacements or reballs, and we didn't have 1.1 on that, but we do have it now. We replaced the ROM chip, but we're still not getting any further, and we still have the same current levels, but at least, you know, it's a tiny bit of progress. Okay, alright, I'm out of here. Thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. As always, keeps me entertained in the loneliness of my office. It's nice to be able to have some company trying to tell me what to do. And occasionally I give back by actually having some success or doing something incredibly comical that keeps you entertained. So until the next time, You take care. I'll catch you later. See ya.